I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I've got a lot of YouTubes up and Facebook. I just put the one up this morning, and I think I titled it "The Austin," and the bummer I can't get much up as a title, and then mind control. I mean, what they've done, if they're ever forced to tell this, the media, this is so ludicrous. The media here in Roanoke all know it. They have since at least before I came here in '86. Um, in the network media that's controlled by the Illuminati, the people that kidnapped me, and if you don't care to look, I don't know, this is ridiculous because it involves a whole bunch of stuff. Me finding out about my kidnapping after I'd run in a U.S. congressional race and was almost killed. Had a letter from the FBI. I have a letter of a magazine where Larry Flint, he was shot when I was doing the book in Marietta, Georgia. He was shot in Lawrenceville. It was a mind control shooter. And there's a whole list of them. I mean, Kennedy was shot by a mind control gentlemen. These are victims too, just like the. Well, okay, I want to mention this one because if this is ever forced to be told, the media tell it, you'll understand it. It's snowing outside. Go back to the Congresswoman Gabby Gifford that was married to twin Mark Kelly and Scott Kelly, the astronaut. And there was the shooting that involved her when she was running for U.S. Congress again in Tucson, Arizona. These shootings were done in a pattern, like all the rest of them. Mind control is invisible, so you have to. These were done in patterns, so I mean, there's lists of them, so they can be proven, a lot of them, without any doubt. Timothy McVeigh told you that he had a computer chip put up his buttocks while he was in the military, a computer chip. He went on to, well, he didn't really blow it up, but the bomb that took down the federal building, the Murray building, and he was put to death. So if they tell all this, if this government is behind it, then you're going to have suddenly the people that wouldn't listen to me, that call me names, and every dirty name in the book will suddenly try to sue. And especially, let me just use this one. The last one was Parkland, where the young man, Cruz, Nicholas Cruz, shot, well, he was programmed to shoot all those students. And the students, you have to wonder, if you stop and ask yourself, why is the media covering all their marches and their meetings? And in the past, they haven't dared tell the truth about all this because it would lead back to me. And if I sound rambling, I have been through holy hell. And anyway, the Parkland in Florida is associated. It's the timeline, the name, and all that. It's associated with Austin, Texas. What happened there at a certain time, and I said then that it should be over with the Parkland in Florida. Those shootings, like the Scott Peterson and Scott. There's names used. The sheriff's name was Scott Israel, and then there's a lot other in the Parkland. If you see that one put together, you'll understand. But I said then it should be the end of the mass shootings. Maybe another one pop up tomorrow. I don't know. But the students might be trying to do the right thing, but it's wrong. You have to. You don't stop the guns. The guns didn't do it. It's mind control. Now then, yesterday with the bombings, and I put this up. I put a video up maybe a week ago that I said they were just switching from the mass shootings and now to the bombing is being left off at FedEx, etc. The key word in this one is Austin, as in Austin, Texas, and FedEx is one big thing in it, in the patterns. But now today, and I put this up again this morning, video. Now today I just heard that one of the names, they killed the shooter. He's a young man. His name's Mark Allen, I believe. And if you ever see it put up, you can't deny it. His last name is Conduff, almost like what was the Congressman Conduff, Gary Conduff, that was supposed to have had the affair with I can't remember her name now, but this was ties back into she was found in the uh, national park, I believe, up near Washington. And Gary Conduff ended up leaving Congress, and there was mind control using it. I'll just hush because it sounds babbling to try to tell it, and I'm not putting up information with it. I'm hurting so bad from what's been done to me sitting here. Uh, the news media gets paid for this. I've lived in hell for it. And the putting up Larry Flynn endorsed me in the magazine, and I ran for Congress to replace the doctor congressman I wrote about, Larry McDonald, from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta. And that's when I was almost killed because I had a lot of cases in there, and I had a lot connected to the Emory University Center for Disease Control. And I had a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. And I was almost killed April Fool Day of '80 and was illegal. How I survived it is unreal. And I was taken across the state line where I worked for the district attorney, Fred Simpson. And you get into the name game if it's in patterns. I didn't know my real name at the time or about my kidnapping. As in Simpson, Wallace Simpson. Simpson was supposed to marry King Edward VIII and abdicated and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, which is a total fabricated lie by the Illuminati that control your press. And then they kidnapped me in '41 at age 2, and my uncle George VI, the illegal rat that went along with the Illuminati. He helped kidnap me and take down his own brother. You had a movie made about him, about the Queen's speech, and now you've had The Darkest Hour with this SOB, Sir Winston Churchill. How many British soldiers died in all this? There were illegal treaties. They took my father down with character assassination, had him marrying Wallace Simpson. And look at your press now with all this hoopla over Harry and Meghan. They're bringing back my father, of all things, saying it's him. It's not. He's a double that married Wallace. By the way, what happened to that money? I've been made a pauper and homeless. My children, which are in line for the crown, the throne, Mark and then Scott, I have 2 sons, and they're the legal heirs. I'm going to stop because I've put all this up, and your mind control goes back to Tesla files that were stolen in 1930. The thing is, you can create an illness with it or cure it. You can program someone to run the car into the river and drown, or appear to commit suicide, like well, for goodness sakes, I went blank. Now, Robin Williams. And the key to that is that Robin Williams refers to, this is a planet that has emotions, and I'm not going to go any further with it than that. But anyway, if this is ever forced to be told, you will look back and find out where the Mark Allen, and last name is Conduff, almost like Gary Conduff, the congressman. And Gary Conduff was the one that lived in, I believe he lived in California. And the young lady, can't remember her name, that he was supposed to have been charged with killing her, they thought, or his career ruined. Anyway, Modesto comes into it. That's Scott Peterson, who was supposed to have killed Lacey, his wife, and Connor, his unborn child. He's on death row. Mark Garagos was the attorney, and Mark Garagos, in my view, is a very good attorney and an honest one. He really is. He was up against odds, I think, especially with the press the way they are. Now then, what else did I want to say? I guess that's it. If you think I'm rambling and they're forced to tell this, you know, right now I've put up what's been at least tried to, a little bit of what's been done to me and my sons. And, you know, they're going to have to tell about the mind control. It's not going to stop. This young man blew himself up in the car when the police stopped him. And, this is what they do. The program, like Virginia Tech, the young man that killed the 32 and killed himself, they're programmed to turn around and kill themselves. They didn't murder themselves. It was done by mind control. You can create cancer, a heart attack. You can trigger it with this. And people are afraid of it. And you've got top officials involved in all of it. And, you know, the it just proved it today that the young man, I think they're trying to say that somebody else was in on it too, a couple of kids. But this was precision that allowed him to build the bombs and all this. And he was totally programmed. Now then, there was something else that I wanted to say that was important, and I can't think of what it was now. Um, I really can't. There was something else. But yesterday, when the bomb went off, one of them, and was when the school, I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? Or the day before, when the school up in Maryland, there was, I've forgotten his name now, Austin, yeah, as in Austin, Texas. He went into school and shot two students, and I think one died. I don't know their names. But the other thing, this young man, Mark Allen Conduff, that blew himself up, and they're saying was part of was the bomber. They're interviewing people that lived around him, and one of the men come up there, neighbors, and said he didn't believe it. That this young man, like a lot of the others, that make them look like they're crazy or have mental illness when they don't. And some of them, these shooters have been said that they were nice people. They didn't believe they did it. It doesn't seem to matter until you force the media. You think Trump told a lie about the media? They're framing him right now.